I'm Ethan Cole. I've always been the kind of man people overlook, the one who stands near the wall and listens instead of speaks. I prefer it that way. Silence is safe. Silence doesn't demand applause. My wife, Vanessa Cole, is the opposite. She commands rooms without trying. She lives for attention, for status, for the subtle competition humming beneath every conversation. She thinks I'm a mid-level consultant at a small firm, earning a comfortable but unimpressive salary. I let her believe that. It's easier, simpler, cleaner. Tonight is her birthday dinner. Her friends crowd around a long table, glittering, with wine glasses and camera flashes. I sit at her right, smiling when expected. Vanessa raises her glass. To another year of winning. Everyone cheers. Daniel Reeves leans back in his chair. You've already won this quarter. That campaign was genius. Vanessa beams. It takes vision. I say quietly, it was impressive. She gives me a brief nod. Thanks, Ethan. Her friend Marissa tilts her head. So Ethan, how's consulting? It's steady, I reply. Daniel smirks. Steady sounds thrilling. I shrug. It pays the bills. Vanessa laughs lightly. He's being modest. Ethan's very consistent. Consistency is underrated, I say. Ambition isn't, Daniel counters. Marissa grins. Daniel just got promoted again, didn't you? Senior strategy lead, he says. Hard work pays off. Vanessa touches his arm. See? That's what drive looks like. I feel heat rise in my chest, but keep my voice even. Drive means different things to different people. Vanessa swirls her wine. At least Daniel understands ambition. She glances at me, smiling too brightly. Some people are fine staying small forever. The table erupts in awkward laughter. Daniel lifts his glass toward me. Nothing wrong with small, if you're happy there. I am happy, I say. Are you? Vanessa asks softly. Her words slice deeper than the laughter. I force a smile. I've never complained. That's the thing, she replies. You never complain. You never push. You just exist. Marissa shifts uncomfortably. Vanessa, it's your birthday. I know. Vanessa leans back. I just think life's too short to settle. Daniel nods. Exactly. You either scale up or fade out. I look at him. Not everything needs to scale. He chuckles. Spoken like a true consultant. I feel smaller with every exchange, like the air has thinned around me. I've spent years believing that staying quiet protected us. If I didn't compete, we wouldn't clash. If I didn't correct her assumptions about my career, she wouldn't feel threatened. Vanessa stands. Another round? As the others cheer, she leans toward Daniel. I pretend to check my phone, but their voices drift back to me when they step a few feet away. Daniel says, you deserve someone who matches your energy. Vanessa sighs. I know. My chest tightens. He's a good guy, Daniel continues, but good isn't the same as driven. Vanessa laughs under her breath. If only my husband had half your drive. The words hit harder than the earlier joke. There's no audience now. No performance. Just truth. I stare at the dark screen of my phone, seeing my reflection instead of notifications. For years, I convinced myself that love meant giving space, letting her shine, absorbing the small cuts without complaint. I thought my silence was strength. Now it feels like surrender. They return to the table. Vanessa's cheeks are flushed, her smile dazzling. Okay, everyone, she says, cake time. As candles flicker, Marissa whispers to me, are you okay? I'm fine, I answer automatically. Vanessa closes her eyes to make a wish. I study her face, searching for the woman who once told me she admired my calm, my steadiness. I wonder when steadiness became weakness in her eyes. I wonder when I became a punchline. She blows out the candles. Applause fills the room. Daniel claps the loudest. To bigger things next year, he says. Vanessa smiles at him. Definitely bigger. I push back my chair, slightly. I'm going to get some air. So soon? Vanessa asks. I'll be right outside. Daniel watches me as I walk away. Don't wander too far, Ethan. We're celebrating ambition tonight. I pause but don't turn around. Enjoy the celebration. Outside, the night air is cold against my skin. For the first time, silence doesn't feel safe. It feels like a void I helped create. I replay her words over and over. Some people are fine staying small forever. If only my husband had half your drive. I built this version of myself for her comfort. I let her believe I was average because I thought it made us equal. I thought diminishing myself would make her feel larger, and that somehow that would keep us balanced. But balance built on illusion isn't balance at all. Through the restaurant window, I see her laughing with Daniel again, her hand resting lightly on his sleeve. Something inside me fractures, not loudly, not dramatically, but with a quiet finality. I realize my silence hasn't protected my marriage. It slowly erased me from it. And tonight, listening to my wife wish for a different man, I understand that something between us has shifted forever. I didn't always play small. I chose to. Vanessa thinks I'm a mid-level consultant, I tell myself as I sit alone in my car. She has no idea who she actually married. The truth presses against my ribs until I can't ignore it anymore. I pull out my phone and scroll to the contact I've avoided discussing with her for years. Marcus Hale. Before I call, I let the past surface. Remember sophomore year? I once asked Marcus in our cramped apartment. He laughed. When we built mock campaigns instead of studying. We weren't mocking them, I said. We were better than them. You said we'd build something global, he replied. And we did. Novosphere Media started with 2 laptops and stubborn belief. I'll handle operations, Marcus told me back then. You handle vision. I don't want to be the face, I said. Not after my father. Marcus's voice softened. You're not him. My last name says otherwise. My father's corporate scandal didn't just bankrupt investors. It poisoned our name. Reporters camped outside our house. I learned early that visibility invites attack. So when Novosphere took off, I stepped back. Let me be CEO, Marcus offered. You keep control. Quiet control. Majority shares stay with me, I said. Always. I became the silent majority shareholder. Founder in paperwork, ghost in public. Years later, when I met Vanessa at a networking mixer, she crossed her arms and said, I hate arrogant rich men. I smiled. What's wrong with success? Nothing, she said. But money changes people. They start thinking they're better than everyone else. I'm not rich, I told her. Good, she replied. Stay that way. So I did. When she mentioned she'd accepted a job at Novosphere, I kept my expression neutral. That's a strong company, I said. You've heard of it? She asked. Marketing world is small. She grinned. The CEO, Marcus Hale? Visionary. Yeah, I answered quietly. He is. I never corrected her. Tonight, after hearing her praise Daniel, the irony tastes bitter. Daniel Reeves. Rising star. Ambitious. Driven. I like him, Marcus told me 6 months ago during a board call. He's sharp, I agreed. Promotion. Marcus asked. If he earns it, he will. I signed off on Daniel's advancement personally. I approved his salary increase. I congratulated Marcus on cultivating talent. Now that same man smirks at me across a dinner table and lets my wife compare us. I finally press call. Marcus answers on the second ring. You never call this late unless something's wrong. Something is, I say. Board issue. No. Acquisition trouble? Personal. He exhales. Vanessa. Yes. A pause. What happened? She humiliated me tonight. Praised Daniel. Said I lack drive. Marcus is quiet for a beat. She doesn't know. No, she doesn't. You wanted it that way. I know. Why now? Because I realized I've been applauding the man she admires. Marcus lets out a low whistle. That's messy. I promoted him. I remember. She said she wishes I had half his ambition. Marcus's tone sharpens. You built the company he works for. I built it with you. You're the majority owner, Ethan. I never cared about titles. You cared about hiding. He isn't wrong. I wanted someone to love me without the money, I say, without the shadow of my father. And Vanessa? She said she despised wealthy arrogance. I didn't want her to see me as another headline. So you let her see you as average? Yes. Marcus sighs. Does she love you? I thought she did. And now? I don't know. Silence stretches between us. You understand what happens if you step forward, Marcus says finally. I do. Media will connect your name to the old scandal. I've rebuilt enough to withstand it. She'll feel deceived. I did deceive her. She may think you tested her. I wasn't testing. I was protecting myself. And protecting her? Maybe. Marcus's voice softens. You can't blame her for reacting to the version of you that you created. I'm not blaming her. Then what are you doing? I'm done shrinking. He pauses. That's not the same as revealing everything. It is for me. What do you want? I want honesty, even if it detonates everything. Daniel will look different once she knows. I'm not doing this to compete, but it will look like that. Maybe. Marcus exhales slowly. You've stayed invisible for nearly a decade. I was tired before tonight. And now I'm angry. At her? At myself. He considers that. Anger can make you reckless. Silence made me irrelevant. That's dramatic. It's true. Through the windshield, I see my reflection again, calm, controlled, smaller than I am. I let my wife believe I was ordinary, I say. She fell in love with a man who doesn't exist. She fell in love with you, Marcus replies. A fraction of me. You're afraid she won't love the whole. Yes. Marcus doesn't answer immediately. I hear him shift, maybe pacing. If you step into the light, he says, there's no retreat. I know. You'll have to own the scandal history publicly. I will. You'll change the dynamic at work. That's unavoidable. And at home. I don't know. He takes a breath. So what are you asking for me? I grip the phone tighter. Prepare the board. Quietly. I'm coming in person next week. To do what? To stop pretending. Marcus is silent long enough that I think the call dropped. Then he asks, steady and serious, are you ready for what that will cost you? The executive feed flickers to life on my tablet, the Novosphere boardroom filling the screen. I mute my surroundings and lean back in my office chair at home. Unseen, unnamed, just another encrypted attendee. Vanessa stands at the head of the table. Thank you for the floor, she says confidently. Today, I'm recommending Daniel Reeves for head of global brand strategy. My chest tightens, but I stay silent. She clicks to the first slide. Daniel has consistently exceeded quarterly targets. Marcus's voice comes through the speakers. Numbers. Up 12% year over year in his division, she replies. But this isn't just about numbers. It's about vision. Vision. I built Novosphere on that word. She continues, Daniel understands where global branding is headed. He anticipates trends instead of reacting to them. One board member asks, what about leadership maturity? Vanessa doesn't hesitate. He inspires teams. People follow him because they believe in him. I exhale slowly. Another voice cuts in. He's young for this scope. Exactly, Vanessa says. He's the future of Novosphere. The future. I watch Daniel on screen, seated halfway down the table, expression humble but pleased. He nods slightly as if embarrassed by praise he expected. Marcus speaks again. Any concerns about scaling his authority globally? No, Vanessa answers firmly. If we hesitate, we risk losing him to a competitor. I feel something sharp twist in my gut. I approved Daniel's fast track 6 months ago. I signed off on expanded budgets for his pilot campaigns. I authorized internal performance audits across his departments, quietly, without public notice. The audits are still underway. Marcus's private line buzzes in my earpiece. He's split the channel. You're watching, he asked me quietly. Yes. You heard her. I did. She's persuasive. She believes what she's saying. He pauses. You want me to approve it? The question hangs heavier than it should. On screen, Vanessa continues, we talk about innovation as if it's abstract. Daniel operationalizes it. Operationalizes. I almost smile at the phrasing. Marcus waits. Ethan. I swallow. What are the audit timelines? Preliminary report in 2 weeks. Full findings in 6. And nothing critical yet? Nothing proven. On screen, a board member says, if we move forward, it's effective immediately. Vanessa nods. He's ready. Marcus lowers his voice further. You know this promotion expands his exposure. If something surfaces later, optics get complicated. I'm aware. And personally, I watch my wife defend another man's ambition like it's sacred. Personally doesn't matter, I say. That's not true. It has to be. Marcus exhales. Final call. My heart aches in a way I didn't anticipate. Not jealousy, exactly, something quieter. Displacement. Approve it, I say. You're sure? Yes. On the main feed, Marcus clears his throat. All in favor? Hands rise around the table. Motion carries, he announces. Daniel Reeves is hereby promoted to head of global brand strategy. Applause fills the room. Daniel stands. Thank you. I won't disappoint. Vanessa smiles at him like she's witnessing destiny unfold. I end the feed. That night, Vanessa comes home electric with excitement. You're still up? She asks when she sees me in the living room. Couldn't sleep, I reply. You won't believe the day I had. I might. She laughs, kicking off her heels. Daniel got promoted. I heard rumors. It's official. Head of Global Brand Strategy. That's big. It's massive, she says. I led the recommendation. I'm sure you did well. I was brilliant, she corrects playfully. The board barely pushed back. I nod. Congratulations. She studies me. That's it. What else would you like me to say? Maybe show a little excitement. I am excited for you. For him, she says. I hold her gaze. For both of you. She walks to the kitchen, pours water. You know what I realized today? What? Some people move up. Others stay stuck. The words land softly, but cut deep. Is that what you think? I ask. I think ambition matters, she replies. Daniel earns his opportunities. And I don't. She sighs. Ethan, you're comfortable. There's nothing wrong with that. But comfort doesn't change the world. Not everyone wants to change the world. Maybe they should. Silence stretches between us. You could do more, she adds. If you wanted to. I'll keep that in mind. She softens slightly. I'm not attacking you. I didn't say you were. I need to feel like I'm building something with someone who's climbing too. I absorb that quietly. You are building something, I say carefully. With Daniel, she asks, eyebrow lifting. With your company. She shakes her head. You don't get it. No, I admit. Maybe I don't. She walks past me toward the bedroom. Good night, Ethan. Good night. When the door closes, I sit in the dim light and let the quiet settle. She thinks Daniel's promotion is pure ascent. She doesn't know that expanded authority brings expanded scrutiny. 2 weeks. The preliminary audit will land on my desk first. I requested direct reporting to a private channel only I control. Expense allocations. Vendor contracts. Regional performance inflation. Nothing concrete yet. But patterns whisper before they scream. I pick up my phone and open the secure dashboard. Daniel's new division metrics are already updating in real time. Congratulations, I murmur to the empty room. Let's see how you handle the weight. I'm not looking for revenge. I tell myself that as I flag 3 anomalies in European ad spend. I'm looking for truth. If Daniel is everything Vanessa believes he is, the audits will confirm it. If he isn't, the truth will surface soon enough. Either way, his success now ties directly to performance reviews I control. And for the first time in years, I'm no longer watching passively from the shadows. I'm investigating. I sit across from Elena Cruz in a private conference room. The city lights dim behind the tinted glass. I slide a folder toward her. Tell me I'm overthinking this, I say. She opens it, scanning the summaries. European ad spend variance and Latin America vendor payouts, I reply. She adjusts her glasses. These numbers were cleared at the departmental level. By Daniel's team. She looks up at me. You're concerned about optics or substance? Substance. She flips to another page. These engagement metrics look inflated. Define inflated. Traffic spikes without corresponding conversion trails. So manufactured? Possibly manipulated, she says carefully. I lean back. Cross-check vendor invoices. I already did, she replies. My pulse quickens. And there are discrepancies. How large? Large enough to matter. I keep my voice steady. Missing funds. Rerouted allocations, she answers. Hard to trace without deeper forensic review. Do it. She closes the folder slowly. If this is true, it's not just ambition. It's fraud. The word lands heavily. Confirm before labeling, I say. I will, she replies. But you need to prepare yourself. For what? For fallout. I nod once. Keep this contained. Who else knows? Only you and me. And Marcus. Not yet. She studies me. This promotion just went through. I'm aware. Her tone softens slightly. This isn't personal, is it? It can't be. That's not what I asked. I hold her gaze. Find the truth. That's all that matters. She gathers the documents. If the board sees this, they'll demand accountability. I know. And whoever championed him will be questioned too. Vanessa's face flashes in my mind, confident, unwavering. I understand, I say quietly. That night at home, Vanessa is already sitting at the kitchen counter when I walk in. You're late, she says without looking at me. Work, I answer. She laughs lightly. Consulting emergencies. Something like that. She sips her wine. Daniel had his first global leadership call today. How did it go? Brilliantly. He thinks 3 steps ahead. I'm sure he does. She finally looks at me. You could learn from that. From Daniel. From anyone who pushes harder than average. I set my keys down carefully. Do you think I don't push? I think you avoid risk, she replies. Risk isn't always wisdom. Neither is stagnation. Her words sting more because she believes them. Vanessa, I say quietly. Do you respect me at all? She exhales sharply. Why would you ask that? Just answer. She sets her glass down. Respect is earned, Ethan. Something inside me fractures. Not loudly, just cleanly. I see, I say. I'm not trying to hurt you, she continues. But I admire drive. I admire leadership. And you don't see that in me. She hesitates, and that hesitation says everything. I see stability, she answers finally. Comfort. Comfort isn't contempt. No, but it's not inspiring either. I nod slowly. So you're inspired by Daniel. I'm inspired by what he represents. And what's that? Growth. The word echoes in my mind as I think of Elena's folder. Growth built on inflated numbers. Be careful what you admire, I say before I can stop myself. She frowns. What does that mean? Nothing. You're being cryptic again. Maybe I'm just thinking. About what? About ambition. She shakes her head. You always retreat into abstractions. And you always equate volume with value. That's unfair. Is it? Silence spreads between us like a widening crack. Later, alone in my study, my secure phone buzzes. Elena, tell me you have clarity. I answer. I have confirmation, she says. My throat tightens. How bad? Campaign performance was artificially boosted through duplicate traffic buys. Meaning, he paid vendors to recycle impressions, to inflate reach. Yes, and the funds. Some rerouted through shell subcontractors. I close my eyes. Personal gain? Indirect, but yes. Can you prove intent? With enough time. How much exposure? Significant. If regulators look closely, we're vulnerable. I run a hand through my hair. And the board presentations. Based on manipulated data. Vanessa's voice echoes in my memory. He's the future of Novosphere. She defended those numbers passionately. I murmur. She didn't know, Elena replies. I know. What's your move? She asks. I stare at the dark window, seeing my reflection again. If I expose this now, I say slowly, the promotion collapses. Yes. Vanessa's credibility takes a hit. Yes. And Daniel, he faces termination, possibly charges. I breathe out slowly. If I stay silent, the fraud grows, and the company suffers. Yes. Her voice softens. You can't protect everyone. I'm not trying to. Then what are you trying to protect? I don't answer immediately. My marriage. My wife's pride. The illusion she built around another man. Elena, I say finally, compile everything. Quietly. For internal review? For me. You're delaying. I'm thinking. Don't think too long. The call ends. I sit in the dark, weighing 2 futures. In one, I expose Daniel and shatter Vanessa's faith in him, and maybe in herself. In the other, I say nothing and let Novosphere rot from within. Upstairs, I hear Vanessa moving around, humming softly, unaware that the man she calls inspiring built his ascent on deception. Respect is earned, she told me. She's right. Now I have to decide who deserves it, and what it will cost me to demand it. Rumors reach me the way most things do, quietly. Elena flags something else. Marcus says over a secure call. HR mentioned travel irregularities. What kind? I ask. Repeated overnight strategy sessions. Same cities. Same bookings. Daniel and Vanessa? Yes. I keep my voice level. It's not illegal to travel for work. No, Marcus replies. But perception matters. I'm not interested in gossip. You should be. I'm interested in compliance. He exhales. You're sure this isn't personal? Everything is personal, I say, then disconnect. That evening, Vanessa texts me. Running late. Strategy meeting. With Daniel. I type back. Yes. Global rollout timeline. I stare at the screen. Okay, I reply. But instead of going home, I park across from the rooftop bar near headquarters. I tell myself I'm verifying patterns, not spying. An hour later, I see them. Vanessa steps out first, laughing. Daniel follows, hand at the small of her back. I grip the steering wheel. They sit at an outdoor table. I watch from across the street, unseen, behind tinted glass. Daniel lifts his glass. To our unstoppable momentum. Vanessa clinks hers against his. To vision. He leans closer. You were brilliant in that boardroom. She smiles. I believed every word. You made them see what I see, he says softly. And what's that, she asks. That I'm just getting started. She laughs. Confidence looks good on you. It helps when someone powerful believes in you. I believe in results, she replies. He reaches across the table, brushing her hand. And in me. She doesn't pull away. My jaw tightens. I believe you're capable of more than anyone here realizes, she says quietly. Even your husband? He asks. She hesitates. Ethan is steady. Steady isn't the same as extraordinary. No, she whispers. Something inside me hollows out. Daniel's thumb lingers against her fingers. You deserve extraordinary. And you, she asks. I take what I want, he says. She doesn't object. I sit frozen, engine off, heart pounding. I don't see a kiss. I don't see betrayal made physical. But I see intimacy. Alignment. I whisper into the empty car. If she chooses him, I won't beg. The words taste like iron. My phone vibrates. Elena. Tell me it's done, I answer. It's done, she says. Proof. Daniel approved illegal vendor kickbacks through 3 intermediary firms. How traceable? Completely. I have signed authorizations and payment trails. I close my eyes briefly. Amount. 7 figures. And timing. Pre- and post-promotion. So it escalated. Yes. I glance back at Vanessa across the street, leaning in closer to Daniel. If we present this, Elena continues, he's finished. I know. Termination is immediate. Regulators likely notified. And collateral damage? Whoever publicly defended his metrics will face scrutiny. Vanessa's voice echoes in my memory. He's the future of Novosphere. Elena, I say quietly, if this goes public, it destroys him. He destroyed himself. And it humiliates her. She didn't commit fraud. No, I murmur. She just believed in him. Belief isn't immunity, Elena replies. I watch Daniel say something that makes Vanessa laugh again. Doing nothing isn't neutral, Elena adds. It makes you complicit. I'm aware. So what's your decision? I don't answer immediately. My marriage feels like glass already cracking. Exposing Daniel might shatter it completely. Staying silent will rot me from the inside. I need Marcus, I say finally. For what? An executive review. That's escalation. Yes. Then I'll prepare the full report, she replies. Send it encrypted. Only to me and Marcus. Understood. The call ends. Across the street, Daniel stands and offers his hand. Vanessa takes it as she rises. He doesn't let go immediately. I force myself to start the engine. I won't watch them walk away together. I won't reduce myself to that. When I pull into our driveway later, Vanessa's car isn't there yet. Inside the quiet house, I sit in the dark and dial Marcus. You sound tired, he says. I'm done hesitating. Elena finished? Yes. And it's fraud. Clear and documented. He goes silent for a moment. And Vanessa? She defended him publicly. That complicates optics. I know. Do you want to bury it? No. Are you sure? I think of Daniel's hand on hers. I think of her saying steady isn't extraordinary. Yes, I say. Marcus exhales slowly. Then we convene the board. When? Soon as possible. Tomorrow. That fast. The longer we wait, the worse it gets. He pauses. This will be brutal. I won't beg, I reply quietly. For what? For anything. Marcus doesn't press. I'll schedule an emergency executive review meeting. Confidential notice, only. Good. You're crossing a line, Ethan. I already crossed it when I started digging. No, he says carefully. You're crossing it because this isn't just business anymore. He's right. But business is the only language I can use to survive what's becoming personal. Send the invites, I say. After I hang up, I sit alone in the silence of my own house, knowing that exposing Daniel will end more than his career. But doing nothing will end me. I haven't sat at the Novosphere boardroom table in years. Today, I walk in without ceremony. Marcus nods toward me. Thank you for joining us, he says evenly. As one of our primary investors, your presence is appreciated. Primary investor. I take my seat near the end of the table. Vanessa doesn't look at me twice. To her, I'm just capital. Silent money. Harmless. Daniel stands at the front, confident as ever. Thank you all for coming, he begins. Global brand strategy has exceeded projections. A screen lights up behind him. Graphs surge upward in clean, impressive lines. Europe delivered 18% above target, he continues. Latin America outperformed by 22. Vanessa smiles beside him. I told you he'd scale, she says to the board. Daniel gestures to another slide. Vendor partnerships have expanded reach while optimizing cost efficiency. I fold my hands on the table. Marcus leans back. Impressive acceleration. It's only the beginning, Daniel replies. Vanessa adds, this is what decisive leadership looks like. I feel the words but don't react. Daniel clicks again. Projected growth for next quarter. Marcus raises a hand. Before projections, we'll review compliance findings. Daniel pauses, faint irritation flickering across his face. Of course. Marcus nods toward Elena. Proceed. Elena stands, composed. She doesn't look at me. A routine forensic audit was conducted on global brand strategy expenditures, she begins. Daniel smiles thinly. Standard practice. Yes, Elena replies. Standard. The screen changes. The upward graphs vanish. Numbers rearrange. Red flags appear beside vendor names. Vanessa leans forward. What am I looking at? Elena continues, steady. Duplicate traffic purchases routed through intermediary firms. Daniel's jaw tightens. That's a misinterpretation. Elena clicks again. These intermediary firms share executive ties, with accounts approved under your authorization. That's absurd, Daniel says. A document fills the screen. A signature at the bottom. Authorization dated March 14th, Elena says. Daniel's color shifts. That's my signature, but that doesn't mean. It matches 5 additional approvals, Elena interrupts calmly. Vanessa looks between them. There has to be a mistake. Elena changes slides again. Side-by-side comparisons of reported engagement and verified analytics appear. Inflated reach metrics, she says. Recycled impressions purchased to fabricate growth. That's not fraud, Daniel snaps. That's aggressive optimization. It's manipulation, Elena replies. Marcus folds his hands. Explain the 7-figure variance in vendor payouts. Daniel swallows. Strategic reinvestment. In shell subcontractors? Elena asks. Vanessa's voice rises. Wait, are you accusing him of embezzlement? Elena doesn't flinch. I'm presenting evidence of illegal kickbacks. The room stills. Daniel looks at Marcus. You can't be entertaining this. Marcus's expression remains unreadable. The documentation is thorough. Daniel turns toward the board. I delivered growth. Fabricated growth, Elena corrects. Vanessa stands abruptly. No. I reviewed those numbers myself. I watch her hands tremble slightly. They were clean, she insists. Elena meets her gaze. They were curated. Daniel steps forward. This is political. Marcus's voice sharpens. Be careful. Daniel scans the table, searching for an ally. His eyes land on me for the first time. You, he says. You're awfully quiet. Vanessa finally looks at me fully. I feel every pair of eyes waiting. There has to be a mistake, she repeats, softer now. I inhale slowly. For years, I've avoided speaking in this room. There isn't, I say. My voice carries more than I expect. Silence crashes down. Vanessa stares at me. What? There isn't a mistake, I repeat evenly. Daniel's expression shifts, from confusion to suspicion. Who are you to decide that? I hold his gaze. Someone who's seen the full audit. Vanessa blinks. You've seen this? Yes. How? Marcus clears his throat. Our primary investor receives direct compliance reporting. Daniel's face drains of color. You orchestrated this, he says to me. I requested routine verification, I reply. Routine, he scoffs. This is targeted. Elena audited multiple divisions, I say. Yours failed. Vanessa's voice breaks. Daniel, tell me this isn't real. He hesitates. That hesitation is louder than any denial. It's interpretation, he says weakly. Elena projects another document. Bank transfer confirmations. Daniel's shoulders slump almost imperceptibly. Marcus straightens. Effective immediately, Daniel Reeves is suspended pending full investigation. You can't, Daniel begins. I can, Marcus says firmly. Legal counsel will follow up. The word legal lands like a hammer. Vanessa sinks back into her chair. This doesn't make sense. I look at her, wanting to soften the blow, but truth has no cushion left. You believe the data you were given, I say quietly. She looks at me as if I betrayed her personally. You knew. I suspected. And you said nothing? I investigated. Her eyes search my face, confused. Why are you even involved at this level? Marcus answers before I can. Because he isn't just an investor. I close my eyes briefly. The moment I've delayed for years is hovering. Vanessa whispers, what does that mean? I meet her gaze. It means I don't just write checks. Daniel laughs bitterly. Of course. Of course this traces back to you. Your choices trace back to you, I reply. Security steps in quietly near the door. Marcus says, Daniel, you'll surrender company devices and credentials immediately. Vanessa's voice trembles. This is insane. No, Marcus says calmly. This is accountability. Daniel looks at me one last time. You think this makes you powerful? I don't answer. He's escorted out. The door closes. The room feels colder. Vanessa remains seated, staring at the blank screen where his projections once glowed. You destroyed him, she says to me. I exposed him. You humiliated me. I didn't falsify numbers. She shakes her head slowly, as if recalibrating everything she thought she understood. Who are you? The question hangs heavier than the silence that follows. I expected satisfaction, vindication. Instead, I feel hollow. Power has shifted. I can feel it in the way board members now look at me, with awareness, calculation. But the cost is written across Vanessa's face. Confusion, betrayal, distance. Marcus adjourns the meeting. Chairs scrape softly as people file out. Vanessa doesn't move. Neither do I. For years, I hid in the shadows to protect what we had. Today, I stepped into the light and watched it fracture anyway. I won control of the room, and somehow, I've never felt more alone. Vanessa doesn't speak to me on the drive home. The silence follows us into the house. The door closes harder than necessary. She turns to me immediately. Why were you there? I told you, I reply evenly. Primary investor. Don't, she snaps. Why did they listen to you? I hold her gaze. Because they had to. Her eyes narrow. Stop talking in riddles. I'm not. Then explain it. I exhale slowly. I own Novosphere. She laughs once, sharp and disbelieving. That's not funny. I'm not joking. You're a consultant. No. She stares at me. What are you saying? I founded Novosphere. Her expression shifts from irritation to confusion. Founded. With Marcus. That's impossible. It's not. You expect me to believe you built a global media company and just never mentioned it. Yes. She steps back like I physically pushed her. No. No, that's insane. I'm the majority shareholder, I continue. I stepped back from public leadership years ago. Why, she demands. My father's scandal. She shakes her head. What does that have to do with anything? It made visibility dangerous. So you hid? Yes. From the world. From everyone. From me. I nod once. Her voice cracks. You lied to me for years. I omitted the truth. That's the same thing. I wanted you to love me, without money. She lets out a broken laugh. Without money. You said you hated arrogant rich men. So you decided to pretend to be average? I decided to see who would stay. Her eyes fill with tears. You tested me? No. Then what was it? Self-protection. At my expense? I swallow. I didn't mean it that way. You approved Daniel's promotion, she says suddenly. Yes. You ordered the audit. Yes. You sat there and destroyed him. He destroyed himself. And you watched me defend him. I investigated facts. You humiliated me in front of the board. I exposed fraud. She presses her hands to her temples. I admired him. I know. Because he seemed powerful. Decisive. I stay silent. Everything I thought you weren't, she whispers. That's on me, I say quietly. She looks up sharply. You let me believe you were small. I thought being small would make you feel safe. I never wanted you small. You wanted ambition. I wanted partnership. Her voice breaks on the last word. I thought you didn't respect me, I admit. Because you never showed me anything to respect. I showed you stability. I don't need stability, she snaps. I need honesty. The word lands heavier than respect ever did. You think I manipulated everything, I say slowly. Didn't you? No. You just happened to reveal his fraud right after he got promoted? The audit began before that. You expect me to believe the timing is coincidence. I expected numbers to be clean. She searches my face for calculation. Did you plan all this? She whispers. The question cuts deeper than any accusation. No, I answer immediately. I didn't plan his fraud. That's not what I asked. I didn't orchestrate this to hurt you. But you knew it would. Yes. And you did it anyway. I chose the company. She flinches. Over me. Over corruption. And I'm collateral damage. You're not damage. I'm under internal review, she says bitterly. Negligence. Failure to detect manipulation. I can mitigate that. With what? With the truth. Your truth. Yes. She laughs hollowly. You being the secret owner doesn't make me look smarter. It shows you were deceived too. By him. And by me, I admit. Silence stretches between us. I admired Daniel, she says quietly, because he walked into rooms and owned them. I could have done that. Why didn't you? Because I didn't want to become my father. She studies me differently now. Not smaller. Not bigger. Just unfamiliar. You built everything I've been fighting to climb, she says. Yes. And you let me believe you were barely climbing at all. I wanted to be chosen without leverage. You don't understand, she whispers. I never wanted your money. I wanted your fire. I feel that settle inside me. I buried it, I say. You buried us with it. Her words aren't loud, but they're precise. I thought I was protecting our marriage, I continue. From what? From imbalance. You created imbalance. I don't argue. She wipes her eyes. Daniel manipulated numbers. Yes. He manipulated me too. Yes. And now my reputation is stained. It doesn't have to be permanent. But it's real. Yes. She looks at me again, searching. If I had known who you really were, would any of this have happened? I don't know. Would you have ever told me? Eventually. When? When I felt secure. She nods slowly. So this was about your fear. Yes. And I'm paying for it. I'm paying too. She studies me for a long moment. I don't know who you are, she says softly. I'm the same man. No, she replies. You're not. I stand there, stripped of pretense, stripped of invisibility. She asked if I planned all this. What hurts most is knowing I didn't. Yet my silence shaped every outcome anyway. The headline breaks before sunrise. Elena just sent the alert, I say quietly, holding my phone. Vanessa sits across from me at the kitchen table. Read it. Novosphere executive suspended amid fraud investigation. She closes her eyes. They use his name? Yes. And yours? Not yet. She nods slowly. It's everywhere, isn't it? Yes. Daniel's face stares back at me from every article. Words like kickbacks, manipulated metrics, breach of trust scroll beneath his photo. He called me last night. Vanessa says faintly. What did he say? He said he was being set up. And you? I didn't answer. I study her expression. It isn't longing anymore. It's exhaustion. Elena confirmed regulators are reviewing vendor contracts. I tell her. And me, she asks. You're under internal review for oversight failure. Demotion. Likely. Termination. No. The evidence proves you weren't involved. She lets out a shaky breath. So I survive. Yes. Barely. Silence settles between us. I never thought he'd do something illegal, she whispers. I know. I thought he was bold. He was reckless. She shakes her head. I admired that recklessness. I don't respond. Her voice softens. I was ashamed of your salary. The admission lands gently but firmly. I know, I say. No, she continues. I see now I was ashamed of myself. I look up. What do you mean? I tied my worth to proximity to power, she says. If you weren't climbing, I felt like I wasn't either. You never lacked power. I lacked confidence, she replies. Daniel filled that gap. Or I thought he did. And me? You were quiet. I was hiding. Yes. She swallows. I'm sorry. The words hang in the air. For what? I ask carefully. For belittling you. For comparing you. For confusing ambition with integrity. I nod once. Thank you. She watches me. That's all. What else should I say? Are you angry? Yes. At me. At everything. She absorbs that without flinching. I don't want revenge, she says softly. Neither do I. Then what do you want? The question echoes in my mind long after she asks it. Later that afternoon, Marcus calls. Media pressure is building, he says. I expected that. They're digging into ownership structure. It won't stay quiet much longer. No, he agrees. If you're stepping forward, now is the time. I know. You sure this isn't about proving something? It's about ending something. Ending what? Hiding. He pauses. Press conference. Yes. You understand this changes your life permanently. It already has. After I hang up, I walk into my study and open the drawer where I've kept it for years. My old Novosphere employee ID badge. The photo shows a younger version of me, clean-cut, determined, unafraid of visibility. Vanessa appears in the doorway. What's that? My badge. I've never seen it. I never showed you. Why keep it? As a reminder. Of what? Who I was before I decided to disappear. She steps closer. And now, I place the badge on the table between us. I don't need to hide anymore. Her eyes glisten. Are you doing this for me? No. She nods slowly. Good. I'm doing it for myself. That's the man I should have known, she whispers. I was always here. I couldn't see you. I wouldn't let you. We stand there in the quiet weight of shared responsibility. Daniel lost everything, she says after a moment. Yes. Career. Reputation. Friends. He chose that path. And I almost followed him. But you didn't. She looks at the badge again. What happens now? I step forward publicly as founder. Won't people connect you to your father? Yes. Are you ready for that? I have to be. She studies me carefully. You're not doing this to show me I was wrong. No. Then why? Because I spent years shrinking to be loved. And I don't want to be loved for a fraction of myself anymore. She nods, tears slipping down quietly. I don't know if I deserve another chance, she says. That's not for me to decide alone. Are we over? I don't answer immediately. I ask myself the question instead. Do I want revenge or peace? Revenge would be easy. I could let her sit with the humiliation. Let the demotion define her. Let silence punish her the way it punished me. Peace is harder. It requires vulnerability again. I don't know, I admit finally. She accepts that without argument. I'll earn back respect, she says softly. Respect isn't currency, I reply. It's consistency. I can be consistent. I need honesty more than consistency. You'll have it. Outside, notifications keep lighting up my phone. Analysts speculating. Journalists requesting statements. The world is shifting. Vanessa looks at me as if recalibrating her entire understanding of who I am. I married a ghost, she says quietly. No, I reply. You married a man who was afraid. And now I'm done being afraid. I pick up the badge one last time, then leave it on the table deliberately. Not hidden in a drawer. Not tucked away. Visible. Tomorrow, I'll stand in front of cameras and reclaim my name. Not to prove her wrong. Not to humiliate anyone. But to reclaim myself. Karma isn't loud. It doesn't need to be. It's quiet. And it already did its work. I stand backstage in the main auditorium, listening to the low hum of hundreds of employees waiting. Marcus adjusts his tie beside me. You ready? Yes. You don't have to do this alone. I know. But you want to. Yes. He studies me for a moment. They'll be shocked. They deserve the truth. He nods. Then let's give it to them. I walk onto the stage. The lights are brighter than I remember. Conversations fade into silence. Marcus steps to the podium first. Thank you all for coming on short notice, he says. Today marks a structural shift for Novosphere. Murmurs ripple through the room. He gestures toward me. Many of you know Ethan Cole as a primary investor. I step forward. My pulse is steady. What you don't know, I begin, is that I founded Novosphere. Silence drops hard and immediate. I built this company alongside Marcus over a decade ago. I continue. I chose to remain out of public leadership for personal reasons. That choice ends today. Whispers break out across the auditorium. I am not stepping forward because of scandal, I say. I'm stepping forward because transparency matters. An employee in the front row raises a hand. You were here this whole time? Yes. Why stay hidden? I believed anonymity protected the company, I reply. I was wrong. The room settles again. Recent events exposed weaknesses in our oversight, I continue. That failure is mine as much as anyone's. Marcus watches me carefully but says nothing. We will implement new compliance layers, I say. Independent auditing, vendor verification reform, and mandatory executive ethics reviews. Another voice calls out, Is this about Daniel? It's about integrity, I answer. Was he acting alone? The investigation is ongoing, I reply evenly. But fraud does not define Novosphere. Accountability does. Applause starts slowly, then grows stronger. Not celebratory, steady, respectful. I don't want loyalty built on image, I say. I want trust built on truth. I scan the back of the room and find Vanessa standing near the exit. She doesn't look away when our eyes meet. I spent years believing power meant control, I continue. It doesn't. Power is responsibility. And from this point forward, I take mine publicly. The applause rises again. After the meeting, employees approach me one by one. I had no idea, one says. That explains a lot, another laughs. You should have told us sooner, someone else adds. They deserve to know, I reply each time. Eventually, the room empties. Only Vanessa remains. She walks toward me slowly. That was different. Different how? You didn't hide. I'm done hiding. She studies my face. They respect you. They respect honesty. She nods. I fell in love with a quiet man. I wait. I just didn't understand his strength, she finishes. Strength isn't loud, I say. No, she agrees softly. It isn't. Silence settles between us, but it's not hostile, just uncertain. My demotion is official, she says after a moment. I know. I accepted it. I expected you would. She hesitates. Daniel tried to call me this morning. I feel something tighten in my chest. And he said he needs support. that he was pressured, that everyone turned on him. And what did you say? I didn't answer. I hold her gaze. Why? Because I'm done confusing charisma with character. My phone buzzes in my pocket. I ignore it. He texted again. She continues. Asked me to publicly defend him. And she pulls out her phone, opens it, and turns the screen toward me. Blocked contact. I blocked him, she says. That's my final act of accountability. I exhale slowly. Thank you. I'm not doing it for you, she replies. I know. I'm doing it for myself. I nod. That matters more. We stand there in the quiet aftermath of everything that's broken and rebuilt. Where does that leave us? She asks. I don't rush the answer. I don't want revenge, I say carefully. I know. I want growth. With me. If we both choose it. She steps closer. I was wrong about you. I was wrong about myself. She searches my expression. Can we start over? We can start honest. That's enough for me, she whispers. Outside the auditorium, I can hear employees talking about reforms, about the future. The company feels steadier already, not because I reveal myself, but because I stopped pretending. I thought owning a company made me powerful, I say quietly. I was wrong. She listens without interrupting. The real power was knowing my worth, even when the person I loved couldn't see it. Her eyes fill, but she doesn't look away. I see it now, she says. I see it too, I reply. For both of us? For both of us. We walk toward the exit together, not touching yet, but not distant either. I don't know exactly what our marriage will become. Trust rebuilds slowly. Respect takes consistency. Love requires truth. But I know this. I will never shrink myself again to be chosen. I walk forward, not as a hidden owner, not as a humiliated husband, but as a man who reclaimed his voice.